We have a player who is alone in the tier. The clock is ticking. And I think we have an animation for this one as well. There you go. Old school TV, old VHS tape.
I love this graphic.
It is looking awesome.
It really is.
The clock is ticking on Russell Wilson, now a member of your New York Giants.
Yes, he is. The clock is ticking. This is his last chance to be a starter in the NFL. This is it. This is it. And within that, as I've told you, I'm not sold he's definitely going to be the starter. If you made me bet, I would say week 1 he is the starter. But for how long? It's all going to be dependent on how well he plays, how good the team is doing, and all that. By all due accounts, we know Brian Daboll liked Jackson Dart. He really liked him a lot. And that's never a great thing for the old veteran quarterback where it's like, bam, the head coach play caller stood on the table for the guy we drafted and traded up for in the first round. So he's got some things working against him, certainly. Russell Wilson, the thing you like is the deep ball throwing, and he's played a lot of big game football, right? And he's not going to make major mistakes more times than not, or in major mistakes, I would say, right? Where you just go, oh my gosh, how he could do that. But when you dig through Russell Wilson a little bit and all that, you see mistakes still when he's playing, right? It's just not always apparent to the people watching on TV, and you don't get to see the whole field that way. And I think that's what you see here again, and this is kind of like 3 years in a row. It's the same kind of thing. Yeah, Russell Wilson starts off kind of good, but once teams start to realize how he plays and where he attacks on the field, and he's reluctant to throw the ball down the middle of the field like we've talked about so much, and sometimes he doesn't see open receivers or waits for something else, or he's watching the rush a little bit. All that rears its ugly head as you go in and start to dive in more and more as well as the year goes on. And that's where, hey, he can make some plays. He can make some explosive throws. He's a great deep ball thrower still. I no doubt about that. His ability to believe in himself and his fortitude is all real and all of that as well. But like being surgical on the football field, that doesn't exist with Russell Wilson. No way. And, working the pocket the proper way while keeping eyes downfield and, oh, wait, like, hey, yeah, I know you had to step up in the pocket and move, and Freiermuth is open down the middle, but you're not really looking for him, and you're looking to get out on the edge to maybe run or just throw a one-on-one ball on the edge, right? Those are the things that hold Russell Wilson back right now, in my opinion, and as the season goes on, teams start to see what he is and where he attacks all the time, and they catch on pretty quickly.
Turns 37 in November. Of course, last year, led the Steelers to the playoffs, but by the end of the year, there are reports out there that Arthur Smith stopped letting Russell Wilson audible at the line. There's some tension there. They didn't want to bring him back when it was all said and done. So, given
running the system the way it's supposed to be run is 3 stops in a row where it hasn't really gone. The end of Seattle was an issue. Of course, it was an issue in Denver with 2 different coaches, right? And then here you are again, okay? So it's like, hey, we can blame everybody else after that, but when it starts to be like, no, it's one stop after another, you kind of hear the same things about offense and getting in and out of the huddle, and I can't give as many things at the line of scrimmage to check with. Sean Payton talked about this with Russell Wilson as well, right? You got to start going, wait, it's not them, it's him. And that's going to be big because Brian Daboll is going to have some checks in his offense. But the big thing is, yes, with Russell Wilson, what you're talking about and all that, can he play at a level that is good enough to where he can beat the elite teams in the sport? And I think that's what everybody's going to question. Again, at the end of the year, it was lose to the Eagles, lose to the Ravens, lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Bengals, lose to the Ravens again in the playoff game, right? And those are the things we're going to remember, and those are the things the league, I think, is questioning about him right now, if he can get you through in those kind of moments.
Pete is noting in real time in a rundown right now, the big criticism of Daniel Jones with the Giants was that he was reluctant to throw it downfield. So the question is Wilson now going to be a better fit in Daboll's system with respect to that? And Next Gen Stats told us this last year. Russell Wilson was efficient at quickly pushing the ball downfield last season. He led the NFL in yards per attempt on quick passes of 10 or more air yards in 2024. So I would think that would mean you get the ball pretty quickly, you throw the ball, And he was actually pretty efficient when he did that, downfield.
That's his game. That's what he wants to do. That's his safe spot, right? Again, that goes back to I don't want to throw the ball down the middle of the field, put the ball into tight windows, anticipation. He doesn't anticipate a whole lot. He is a guy that has to see it, and then he tries to throw a laser in there. I do think because of his size and because of his background and his ability to scramble and do all that, he's been able to get away with not having to utilize the middle of the field all the time in his whole career. But he's at a point now where he can't run and scramble and do that anymore. So you got to utilize that. And to your point with the quick 10-yard throw, what's that tell you? The quick throw, but yet it's more than 10 yards in the air. He is a habitual line stepper and wait, here's the concept. Forget the concept. I have one-on-one. I'm going to get it and throw up a lob ball, right? That's what that stat is telling you. Oh, George Pickens is one-on-one. Said Hud, I get it. Let me lay it out there where he goes and gets it, or I throw it back shoulder and it's a jump ball. And that is that's cool. But you're not going to get away with that unless your team is absolutely phenomenal on a week-to-week basis, right?
And has the receiver that can
and has the receivers
a DK Metcalf or a George Pickens.
Right, right. That's okay. If you play for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Jalen Hurts, it works with how their team works, right? That's how it works. He's a great deep ball thrower. They put you in a bind. They get one-on-ones with freaks outside, and he knows how to throw the deep ball. And I'm not trying to say anything negative there, but that works for that. But they're a different entity. Most teams aren't going to have that formula the Eagles have. And, to Pete's point with Russell Wilson and all that, Brian Daboll might like some of the deep ball throws that he gets from Russell Wilson. But what I want to know is, those other plays where Daniel Jones, you were like, what a decision, what an unbelievable 9-yard throw, 12-yard throw, tight window, blah, blah, blah. He's not going to get much of that from Russell Wilson, and how much will that frustrate him as he goes forward? That's what I'm interested to see.
1-year contract with $10.5 guaranteed, up to $21 million, does not scream you need to be the starting quarterback here, because Daniel Jones is getting 1 year, $14 million.
He has to go undefeated to get the $20 million.
So maybe there's some money to be made here. DraftKings has the odds to take the first snap as the quarterback for the Giants in week number 1, and Russell Wilson is the heavy favorite right now. Minus 750. Jameis Winston, second choice at plus 600. But you have said recently on other podcasts,
right?
So not only am I cheating on you doing the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, you are cheating on me,
right?
That you would not rule out Jackson Dart.
I don't think it wouldn't shock me. Would it shock me if we went through OTAs and we get done with minicamp and you hear start little murmurs and man, Jackson Dart looked really good. He really got the offense down. He knows what he's doing. And then we get into the preseason and, Jackson Dart, pretty good week 1. Well, Russell didn't really play, didn't do much. Week 2, hey, Russell was okay, but Jackson Dart continued to, he's really picking up the offense. He's developed a repertoire with Malik Neighbors, right? Week 3, he's phenomenal again. Hey, let's just go with the young guy. Would that shock me? No. Am I totally expecting that? No. I expect that it'll still be Russell Wilson. But, the clock is ticking, literally, figuratively, pyramidally.
All of it.
But all of that, yeah. And that's where we'll see where this goes. I was going to say something else. I forgot what it was, but either way.
I mean, it's almost more, it's like the percent chance that he takes the first snap of week number 1, you're like, okay, probably, 80%, maybe something like that. The chance that he takes the first snap week 17, I don't know, 5%? 10%,
it's low.
Something like that.
Right. I mean, it drops significantly every 5 weeks, I would say, right?
Yeah.
That's how I would look at it. It'd be like, hey, okay, he's the starter week 1. Week 4, that drops down to 20%. Week 8, that drops down another 20%. Yeah. Yes, I mean, when you draft a guy at 26, Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, the school Eli Manning was from.
Coach on the hot seat. They need
Coach
results.
On the hot seat. The fans already know what Russell Wilson is. They're going to be calling for Jackson Dart. And the other aspect of Russell Wilson, too, is you bring up the offense. And, again, these are things I take into account. It's 4 offensive minds in a row have been a little bit like, Russell Wilson, I don't want him to check. I don't want him to do this. We can't work this area of the field and all that. Here's another aspect I'm just going to throw out there to you. I know this. His ability to lead and talk to the players, it falls on deaf ears. You heard me say that during the end of the year last year. Right? I told you, hey, not only was I hearing it from people that I trust in Pittsburgh and all that, but you could watch TV and see it. where he'd be talking to the guys on the sidelines, and they'd literally be like trying to look the opposite direction he was talking, right? Yeah. So those are little inklings and clues that I look at too, and leadership, running the offense, working the entire field. Yes, those have to be improved by Russell Wilson if he wants to continue to be a starter. It can't just be the Russell Wilson moonball show week after week.
DraftKings Sportsbook, your home for live betting, and new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins.
Just download that app and use the promo code UNBUTTONED when you sign up.
DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
Yo, homies, what's up? Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. And just because the weather's warm doesn't mean football ain't still on our brains right here.
We are still working, so smash that subscribe button. We got all the training camp news, preseason news, everything up until kickoff night.
Thanks for watching. And again, remember to hit that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.